When I first read the headline, How Republicans Turned Olive Garden into a Voter ID Talking Point, I was skeptical. It sounded like a scandal, but the story is really about politics, pasta, and perception. The backdrop was a Title X Trump speech at the White House that called attention to election vulnerabilities and pushed a stalled voting restriction bill. Meanwhile, a seemingly unrelated business news story broke. Olive Garden had just returned its popular never-ending pasta pass and announced a photo ID requirement for the pass. The chain's announcement came from a simple policy change. The pass, sold for $100, lets the holder enjoy unlimited pasta for 13 weeks, but it must be tied to a valid photo ID each time the diner orders. The policy was shared on social media, and a customer asked whether families could share the pass, a question answered firmly in the negative. The chain made sure the public knew that the pass was strictly for the purchaser only. Once that lie found its way into the political arena, Republicans used it like a marketing stretch. A random social media post overbly drew a connection between the Olive Garden pasta policy and the way we vote. The claim Lucas by, Olive Garden polices its bottomless pasta deal more tightly than the United States polices its elections. The bounty of the claim was absurd, yet it spread like wildfire. From the House committee hearing to a Senate floor brief, the Olive Garden anecdote was invoked at least 8 times. Representative Brian Steil, a Wisconsin Republican and chairman of the House Administration Committee, a body that oversees election legislation, tipped the point. He proudly declared that he worked at Olive Garden during high school and, in an angry spiel, said, "We are protecting our breadsticks more than our ballots." No apology, no doubt. The implication was that voters needed more proof to register or to vote than the policymakers demanded. That line of reasoning was echoed by the rest of the Republican messaging, feeding a narrative that states should tighten voter ID requirements. Of course, the comparison falls apart. 36 states already require voters to show identification when they go to the polls. Of those 36, 23 require photo ID. The remaining 14 states either provide ID for free at the polls or do not require any form of ID at all. So the claim that voting is less regulated than pasta deals is false. But the narrative is convincing to those swept up in the rhetoric, using a social media caption about a pasta pass as a symbol for a whole election infrastructure. Whether the commentary stars the plot or the policy is up to the listeners. The point remains: draws noisy, politics can turn a seemingly innocuous business policy into a weapon of persuasion. That's my rundown. The meme that borrowed from Olive Garden proves that public discourse can sometimes be more about punchlines than substance. Stay skeptical, stay informed.